One, two, three. All right, we'll stop. All right, everybody. This is, of course, episode 24 for the Tour de Todd Cycling Podcast. And let me tell you something. I got a dude on here today. I'm really happy to speak to this man. I followed him for years. Yes, I am a track nut. So to finally sit down and speak with Haseem Mclean from Trinidad and Tobago, it is Tobago. I told you I'd screw it up. Dagnabbit. Trinidad Tobago. It's a pleasure to speak to this man because he is truly a great cyclist and a great human. So Haseem, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Ducking and dodging the virus right now.
Yeah.
Doing what I need to do. Wash, sanitize.
Understood. Okay, let me start out with this. What I know is that you started out riding at 4 years old. Is that right?
Yeah, thereabouts, yeah.
Talk to me about getting on the bike and when did you know it was your thing?
All right. So what happened was, I, my dad said he went to a grocery store to do some shopping around Christmas time. Next to the grocery store, there was like a toy store of some sort, and they had bikes outside. And my dad said I got on the bike, and he had enough time to go into the grocery, do his grocery shopping, and come back. And I would not leave without him getting me the bike. So he bought the bike. He said I think he said I was either 3 or 4, and he bought the bike. We got home, and he said within 45 minutes the training wheels were off.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So after that, he started carrying me to Skinner Park in San Fernando, and we just got going. And like a month later or so, there was a race. I came fourth, and I cried, and I didn't like to lose, and that was the beginning of it there.
Wow. Okay, so did you ever race on the road, or was it strictly straight to the track?
Well, the culture in Trinidad is that we do both, as at least up until juniors. Now that you are seeing the prevalence of better track sprinters is because the culture is shifting a bit, and we are specializing a bit earlier. So maybe 15, 16-year-olds gonna say, well, I only do road or I only do track. But before, we do everything. So guys would ride 8 events at nationals. I mean, even Justine is a points race national champion in 2011 or 12.
Wow, and that's amazing. And he's a world-class sprinter.
Yeah.
That's
so that's how it
was. Damn. Okay, so how was you had a pretty good junior career. And when did you first get what was it like racing as a junior in Trinidad Tobago? God dang it, I'm going to keep blowing it up. And Emil Abraham is going to kill me.
Yeah, I had time for
that. How was your junior career, and how often did you race, and when did you finally get that look from the national team?
My junior career, I didn't try to specialize, but with the results that I had, you could only see my career going one way because I was horrible in anything over like 7 or 8 laps. I was horrible. However, I do have one junior national road championship title to my name. One, but I'm gonna take it. I have also got like in the Omnium, yeah.
That's pretty good.
So I did as a junior, I did everything, but I was not producing any results in the longer races. Even in middle distance, I will not be in the podium. I will not be in the top 5. Wow. So if anything under probably 2 kilometers, I'm there. All right. So at 15, right? Yeah, I think 15. That would be 2002 nationals. I did get a bronze at the senior national championship carrying. So there was an invitation for me, and I did get in, and I played. Akokela won, Elisha Green second, and I was third. And I think Elisha could have won, but on the turn, he kind of waited for me, and I heard him shouting at me like, "Go, go!" But I didn't have any more gas. So he passed me, he went up the straight, and it was a photo finish between him and Ako. Ako won. So I think he could have won that, but so it goes sometimes. So that was the first time I did anything on a senior stage. And 16, well, I had my C.A.C, high school exams, so it wasn't as good of a year. And in 17, I went Germany. I went to Germany. I trained for 3 months or so. And then when I came back, well, I did the Junior Pan Ams, and after that, I started making the national team.
Wow. What are there a lot of velodromes? How many velodromes are in your country?
Trinidad, there is a Rima Velodrome. They're rebuilding Skinner Park right now. There was Petrotrin in Santa Flora. All right. So those were Petrotrin, Skinner Park, Arima Velodrome. They recently built Cuba, the indoor 250, and there was the grass track, Guaracara Park.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Wow, that's not bad actually.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, there was the oval too.
That's right. That's right. When did you start doing the international stuff and with the national team? Well, let me ask you this. I've heard good things about the national team for Trinidad, and then I've heard some rough stuff. What was your experience on the national team? I see you smiling, so you know what I'm talking about.
It was mostly good for me. I really didn't have much of an issue, but some guys they had issues, and I personally don't recall any major issue.
Mm-hmm.
But as a team, I would stand with my teammates. So if other guys had issues, we stand together. Now everyone doesn't think like that, and I think that's what the problem is. Right? But I would stand if the guys have an issue, I would stand with them because I would want the same if I had an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. When did you start traveling outside of your country? When did you start just doing the bigger races, World Cups?
Oh, World Cup. At 17 when I did the trip to Germany. All right, that was my first international stint anywhere. We had there was the West Indies versus the world.
Yeah.
When that started, I think after the first year, the second year, they had like 1 weekend in Trinidad, 1 weekend in Barbados. Mm-hmm. So that was 12 or 13. That would really be my first trip. But after that, at 17, I did the German tour. So I trained with Fosterman and Coach Imu, Barry Ford, those guys. It was a rough 3 months.
Really? Why?
Just transitioning from junior to senior, training full time, twice a day, the volume, the workload. I think for the first 2 weeks, I was going to bed 8 p.m. and like sleeping 12 hours a night. For like the first 2 weeks, I could not. I get dropped on the road ride every day for like a month. Every road ride for a month. I just off the back. Yeah,
wow.
It just the change in the volume.
Yeah. Okay, so then let me ask you this. What is the training for let's say a world-class sprinter of your caliber? What type of training is that? Because I don't think many people understand exactly what you guys have to do to compete against the best in the world.
The training regime is maybe anywhere from 10 to 12 sessions a week. So you're gonna have, the periodization it depends. But you normally have 12 sessions, but how they are split up depends on the periodization and how far you are from competition. Mm-hmm. I've worked with some coaches that it's maybe early in the season is 4 times a week in the gym. And you're just doing more road riding during that time.
Mhm.
Right? Maybe some sprints on the road bike, and then you get into the bulk of your work, which will be 3 times a week in the gym, 3 to 4 times a week on the track, and maybe 2 or 3 road rides for the week. Maybe, depends. All right. But as you get closer to racing, maybe it goes down to 2 sessions a week in the gym, because you're looking to have higher quality riding on the bike.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one cares, really and truly, no one cares how strong you are in the gym. It's about how fast you go on the bike. Right? So, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Traveling the world, competing against, I would say you did Dimitri, the big Russian. I'm sure you've competed against him. The Dutch, all the Germans, the Japanese. How did you compare? How did you feel that you compared to those guys?
They were better than I was.
Why?
Well, I mean, again, it's the culture, the system, and so the investments that Russia and the Dutch have put in, Trinidad is yet to reach there. All right, so a big part of my career was being or fighting to be able to get to train twice a day. So my dad was my main sponsor, because I mean, yeah, if you don't have money, how are you gonna eat properly? How are you gonna? So, and I think that's a big problem with a lot of the athletes in Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
They want to, but it's not there for them, because basically you're 20 years old. The family has to basically give you a full salary to cover your expenses. You're gonna have to get to and from training every day. You need massages, supplements, food, and you still at least a gym fee. And that is if your coaches are local. If you have an international coach, that's another bill.
Yeah.
So, and then you don't work anyway, you don't have much of an income, so your family has to cover that, or your sponsors. But Trinidad, we don't have too many people supporting the athletes before they do something big.
Wow. Okay, so this is what I've got. Correct me if I'm wrong now. 14-time national champion, 23-time national medalist. I've got top 5 finishes at Pan Am championships, top 10 at World Cup. I would say anybody that has a resume like that can be proud.
Yeah, thanks. I am.
I mean, that is amazing. And not having the funding to do it, it really makes a difference on a rider when you just don't have the funding. But man, you did a hell of a job.
Yeah, thanks. My dad was support.
Yeah, thanks to Dad. Let's hold on. We're gonna give a thanks to the dad there. Who would you say? I'm gonna start with your home country. Who would you say in your time was your biggest competition? And then we'll go world.
Biggest competition, Trinidad, during my time was Christopher Celia.
Why?
Well, he was fast. When he did his personal best at the kilo was 1 minute point 997, I think. And at that time, he was the Pan Am record holder. I think it was like the 8th fastest kilo ever recorded at that time. Yeah. He was the 2010 Pan Am champion. He was the 2008 Pan Am champion in the max sprint and the carrying. Right? So he himself, he has got a pretty good resume. But he was 1 year older than I is. And we competed all the way up from juniors, and it was just always a battle. Right? So in his case, he was outright faster than I was. But that is what I think made me become such a great racer, because I had to learn different strategies to beat him, even though he was, So that's why my pet event became the carrot, because now I learned how to change speed and outsmart certain guys and use racers against each other for my benefit while in a race.
So you had to use your head. I like that. That is awesome. Who would you say when you go outside of your country? I mean, there's a lot of good sprinters out there. Max Levy, Dimitri, all of the Dutch, the Great Britain. Who was the person that gave you the most trouble?
On an international scale,
Yeah.
At the Pan Ams, I would say definitely Botasso and Canelon, Husoni, the
Yeah.
Venezuelan and Argentinian. And internationally, yeah, I had a tough time with Jason Niblet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you see, I'm a little bit older.
That's all
So
right.
Max Levy and I are the same age. And well, as you see, he's retired. So like the guys from my time, they started to retire. So like all the guys on the block now, they're not from my time.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Niblet. I know that name.
Yeah, Jason Niblet, he was an Australian dude.
Yes. Yep. Wow. Wow. Do you think that you got everything out of your career that you could get?
Yeah.
In what sense?
So my career ended prematurely. I got injured in 2013.
A knee injury.
Yeah, yeah. And it was hell to get, well, I was riding for Team DPS at that time. They were sponsored by an insurance company, and I could not get insurance money to get the rehab done. And that was my biggest problem with coming back in the cycling. So they delayed for over a year and a half. So that year and a half, I'm just doing, I'm not riding, and that was the biggest issue, I think, with the me getting back into cycling, because I did race and I do intend to race after, and I'm intend to race this year, but you know, life working is not the same.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's life.
Okay, so you went from there. Your knee injury really cut your career short. You're only 34 years old, am I right? Wow. Did you ever consider doing any of the 6-day stuff or the Kirin in Japan?
Love to, but I don't know how to get into the system. My dream was never the Olympics. My dream was always to get to the Japan Karen school and do that racing. That was always my dream.
Wow.
You know, I don't know. I would love to get into that.
Wow. Would you come? Have you considered coming back to the scene?
Yeah, I'm training. So I would like to, I would like to, my goal is to ride at the C.A.C. Games next year.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not Olympics, it's the Commonwealth maybe, which is this year is probably too close.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll have to forego that one. But next year, 2023, will be C.A.C. Games and Pan Am Games. So I'd probably look at that. I don't think the Olympics is a shot for me, because it just takes too much time, energy, effort, money to do the qualification process for the Olympics.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, so I think, but the C.A.C. Games, the Commonwealth Games, the Pan Am Games, I could qualify from home.
Not bad.
So I'm for that.
Okay. In my time when I was sprinting as a young man in the United States, I would always hear, tell me if I'm correct here, I would always hear that there was a series down in Trinidad and Tobago, and there were criteriums, there were track races, and it was a big series that would go on. I can't remember the name of it, but I always wanted to go there. I'd heard, you know how you just hear about something and you're like,
Yeah.
what? Is that
I
still
think
going on?
Yeah,
It was with grass track racing also.
yeah. So from our local season is between after Ash Wednesday to Easter.
Yeah.
All right. So every weekend we would have racing between Ash Wednesday and Easter. So you would have criterium, track racing, road racing, and a mix of all. But I think the Southern Games they particularly had crit and track and field and cycling all in one day.
Yeah.
And then there was the Beacon International. They had criterium and track racing as well.
Not bad, not bad. Because I remember hearing about it, and I people were talking about it when I'd go to races. They were like they would have some international racers come down there and do the series, and I heard it was just amazing, but I never got a chance to get down there.
The atmosphere, the crowd support was always good for those races.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a very silly question. I've never been to Trinidad and Tobago, but I'm curious, what is it like to live there?
It's fun. The culture is very laid back. But sometimes as a athlete trying to live in a regimented structure to get the most out of your career, it may be too laid back.
Okay.
So you're waiting on someone and they late, and they're 30 minutes late and it's like, oh, don't worry about it, it's cool. And you're not really allowed to even tell them about it because that's just the culture. But you have other stuff to do, you're trying to be on time. It's just too laid back.
So you have to get out of there to do something.
Yeah, so a lot of times, like when you go to international coaches, if they have coached people from the Caribbean before, they tend to give you a hard time and they're like, I hope you're not like this guy or that guy. They're always late, they don't sleep, and because the culture is just totally different.
Yeah. Wasn't Aaron Hartwell the coach for Trinidad Tobago?
Yeah,
Tobago. God dang it! Please y'all forgive me, okay?
Long A versus short
A. So Aaron Hartwell was in there, wasn't he?
Yeah, Aaron had two stints here actually. He did. Aaron went as the coach for Trinidad to the 2010 Commonwealth Games in India, and then he was the coach again in 2017, 18, 19, I think. Wow. Yeah, I think he left in 2019.
Not bad. Okay, so we're at this part of this interview where I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions, and I'm just curious of your thoughts, okay? All right, so Haseem, I'm going to ask you if you had an unlimited budget. I'm talking money was not a problem. What type of bike would you ride? And would it be mechanical or electric?
Mechanical. I think I actually love the bike I have, the BT. I have BT Edge.
Not bad. If you had unlimited budget, where would you ride and who would you ride with?
Where would I ride? I'd probably go back to Europe. I think I'd like to do somewhere in Russia.
Oh, not bad. Russia?
Not in the winter. Yeah, probably right. Dennis himself and Max Levy.
Not bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna not bad. I'm gonna ask you about a couple of people, and I'm just curious of your thoughts. I'm gonna start with Nicholas Paul.
Yeah. What about him? I think his results speak for itself. He's amazing.
Yes.
I've seen him training and the guy doesn't stop. Like, I think one of Nicholas Paul's biggest strengths is his ability to repeat efforts. So more than anything, like when guys are hurting after 3 solid efforts, Nicholas could probably give you 5 more. I think at least 5 more. Training may stop at 5 efforts, but I think he could give you 8 before he starts to fade off. And I think that played a big part in his rise to where he is. Because now when you're tired after 5 and you go, you eat, and you come back to the track and you start falling off, he's still, so his quality of efforts are very high and his ability to repeat. And I think over time, that is what led to his exceptionally fast rise to fame. And I mean, if you look at the event that he medaled in this year, it's absolute fastest guy wins. It's the kilo.
Wow.
So
not bad.
His goal is really good.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Emil Abraham.
I think Emil had a exceptional career.
Yeah.
Those, I really respect what he did with those the Pan Am and the C.A.C medals, because unlike a lot of the guys from the countries he beat, he had to do it on his own. That 2007 Pan Am Games medal, he was the only Trinidadian in the field, and he got bronze. And I think it was the same at the C.A.C Games. I mean, Trinidad sent a team to the C.A.C Games, but I don't think no one from the team finished except Emil, and he medaled.
Dude's a beast.
And he has a very good road sprint. He's very quick.
Yeah.
So I think that was his advantage.
Yeah. Okay, I've got to ask you about this person because I may butcher her name, but I'm interested. Tennille Campbell.
Yeah. Well, Tennille is having a sensational career thus far. And I'm excited to see where Tennille's career goes. You know, I knew Tennille. Akil is my boy. That's my buddy. Right? We talk almost weekly. You know, he'll call me, I'll call him. Right? Just to say, hey, what's up? No, not for anything in particular. You know, I knew Akil and Tennille since I think Akil before he was 10 years old. Right? So to see Tennille, because she started cycling, she stopped, she went to school, and then she started back. Mm-hmm. And then she kept getting better and better. I think when I started back cycling in 2017, Tennille was actually a sprinter then, I think. Tennille, as a female, Tennille rode 12-0 in Cuba. And then that year, she was like, I think I'm going to go road. And then 2 years later, it's like, yeah, she qualified for the Olympics on the road.
Wow.
So I think that is a big part of Tennille's success. She has a way better sprint than a lot of the girls who just always did road.
Yeah. Wow, not bad. I'm just so impressed to see her get in there, especially during the classics. And she handles her business. And I'm always I follow her like crazy because I just think it's dope to see. I'll just be real about it. A Black woman on the stage in Europe and she's winning.
Yeah, and she's doing it.
Yes, it's dope. And she seems like a very nice person. So I'm just I'm happy for her.
Yeah, man. Good people.
Good. I got one last, and he might be, I trained with him in Minnesota in 91, but this man, he may be before your time, but I think you might know who I'm going. Gene Samuels.
Gene Samuel. Gene Samuel. So Gene retired from international racing, but he didn't stop racing locally. And let me tell you, Gene is one of the most annoying, difficult to race against. He's just so so crafty and tactical and experienced that he's a tough guy to be, even into his 50s. I was like 20, and he's well into his 50s. And if I mess up in a race, he's gonna beat me.
Wow.
Like, it's just really annoying to be in a race with G. Just know it's not gonna be easy.
Wow, that is amazing. Oh, he's pretty old now. He's older now. He's up there.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I'm talking like 2008, 9, 10. Like, even when I came back to cycling in 2017, Gene was on the track in Cuba, and he did a flying 100 on, I think, warm-up gear 82, and he was still going 6-0 on spoke wheels. I'm like, damn. I think that day I did 6-2.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Gene's still pretty quick. He's still good. So it's still, you know what I mean? So he's still competitive, and he's there.
That is.
And he got this.
Yeah. You know what? This is one question I want to ask you too. In all the travel that you've done around the world, outside of your home country, what was your favorite place to go and why?
Favorite place to go? I like Colombia, and I like Australia.
Not bad.
Aussie, oi, oi, oi.
Yeah. All right. Right now, you're personal training, right? You also do some personal training. You started a personal training business. I know you have a son.
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir.
He's 10 years old. Really, really energetic guy, and probably too smart for his own good.
Nothing wrong with that.
But that's my boy.
Would you put him on a bike?
Yeah, he raced in 2018. He did.
Wow.
And guess, he came second in all his races to Elisha's son.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I see a rivalry starting.
Yeah.
Not bad. Well, you know what, Haseem, I want to say thank you. I know you're a busy man. I want to say thank you for giving me the time to sit down. I've always wanted to talk to you. We stay every so often in contact on Instagram. We both follow each other. So I just want to say thank you for giving me the time. And man, stay blessed. You know that?
All right. Thanks, you too, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's been a long time since I felt important.
Dude, you are important. And that's why I had to bring you on.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. You take care. All right.
All right, man.
All right.